Absolutely. I'm human. Um, every other day I want to give up, but I I'm not a quitter. I'm not a little bitch, and I just do it. I'm hosting the an Olympia watch party here next weekend, so I was like deep cleaning my house and stuff.
Oh,
So
that's fun. Hey, Jamie, what's happening?
yeah,
Not much. Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
good. How are you?
Good. What's going on, boss?
Not much. Just filling her in about all of our rescheduling
Oh yeah.
mishaps this whole couple weeks, which is like very a little new for us. We've never really had a problem, but
No, no. I'm working a little bit further away, so it's a little harder for me to get home at a good time. So, and Andy, what happened to him? He have a flood in his basement or something?
yeah, that's what I heard. So yeah, that sucks.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, and then Derek got called into work early tomorrow morning, so he's probably in bed right now.
Right on.
This is technically my bedtime, so
Oh
I'm
well,
usually in bed by 8 o'clock every night.
should we say, should we
Wow.
say, suck it up, Derek, and you're missing out?
I'm just getting ready to go to the gym now.
You're
That's usually my.
crazy.
Oh,
You're, you're
I've been at
crazy.
the
I
gym
could not. I'm
most
like,
10 o'clock. Couple nights 10 o'clock last week for me. It's late,
oh my
and then
gosh, I could never.
No. When do
I'm
you
up early too.
then when do you get up?
I'm up usually around 6. It's not
Man,
bad.
not bad. And when do you have time to recover and sleep and grow and
I sleep when I lay down. I go to sleep. It's usually 5 6 hours a night.
well, yeah. Well,
That's
I
enough for
guess
me.
Jeez.
crazy.
I yeah. Oh well,
Yeah.
make it
Well,
work.
all right. I guess so. Well, all right. So we got a couple of us here. So welcome, Tiffany, to Bodybuilders Amateur Hour. We're super happy to have you here.
Yes, sir,
Thank you
for
for
sure.
having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, that's so great. Before we get rolling, I just want to remind everyone, like I do every other time, please like, subscribe, share, and leave some comments below. Tell us how
Hmm.
much you love Tiffany because she's freaking awesome. And she's like an icon in the sport on the East Coast for sure. And yeah, definitely, you're definitely someone that a lot of inspiring competitors look up to and follow. I know for sure because I hear your name all the time, all over the gyms, and they're just like, I want to be like
Oh,
her. It's true, and it's like,
oh,
but
that's
like
sweet. That's
maybe
actually
you,
sweet.
yeah. Well, maybe you don't hear it yourself. Usually people don't get the roses when they deserve them,
Mm.
but it's yeah, it's said among the community for sure that you're top notch. So keep going.
Keep going for sure.
Oh, well, that's very sweet, and I hear it sometimes, but not a lot. But it probably has to do with the fact like I'm quite intimidating when I am in the gym. So some
That's
people
gonna
don't
lead
like
to
talk to
do.
me too much.
That's actually we have a couple fan questions, and that is like three or four of them right there about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll get into that in a minute.
Yep.
So also, yep. So again, like, subscribe, share, and Jamie.
Hit the bell button. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, because we want, yeah, everyone. You want to know what's coming up next. You want to be notified. So that's the way to do it.
Keep yourself in the loop.
Yeah. All right. So Tiffany. So people that don't know you, if you like to, do you want to introduce yourself? Kind of. I know it's gonna be super awkward. I want to throw it right at you, and maybe about, a little bit about yourself when you started, how many shows you've done, how much ass you've kicked over the years.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I want to hear it.
Well, I've been around for a while now, which is hard to believe. So yeah, I'm 35 now. I actually started back in 2014 before the Canadian Physique Alliance was a thing. So it was back in the CBBF days,
Nice.
when you actually had to compete in your province, to actually get anywhere. So I wasn't even allowed to compete in other provinces. I had to compete in Nova Scotia and whatnot. I have done, oh my gosh, I feel like it's around 15 or 16 shows at this point. Um, my very first show, I got 16th, 14th or 16th. My second show, I got first.
Oh,
Then went
crazy.
back again, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then competed again after that, just kind of continuing, and then kind of got sixth, and then went back and got. Then I would kind of go back and forth depending on if I competed in Nova Scotia versus New Brunswick. So I always do
Oh,
better in New Brunswick,
right. Interesting.
yeah, which is funny at Atlantics.
Mm.
Um, but at that time, it's funny because Atlantics, you couldn't, as a Nova Scotia competitor, you actually couldn't go anywhere with it because it
It
wouldn't
wasn't a
qualify you to
yeah,
the
it wasn't a
next
That'd have
step,
you.
qualifying show.
Right. It was
right?
the same here in New Brunswick
So
too.
it was, yeah, so it was like we had to do ECC, and then you had to do Nova Scotia provincials, and then if you qualified, you could go to CBBF nationals.
Mhm.
It's a
So I
lot.
had to keep going back and forth. So yeah, so I had to go back and forth, and eventually I started to get better, and I won the ECC and the overall. Then I won Nova Scotia provincials. Then I went to nationals, and I got fifth. Then I went to the Arnold's, and I got fifth. And then it just kind of started snowballing. I just kept going and going and going, and eventually just kind of got into a spot where I could kept my qualifications. And then this CPA came, and it was a split. And yeah, I've just been keeping my qualifications. Taking the
Yeah.
feedback that
Right.
you always get, and you
Yeah.
work. And yeah, I just keep getting better and going with how the division has changed over the years. Like you have to go with that as well. I've seen every change possible within the bikini division,
Right.
from super soft to super hard to now going
Mhm.
back to full. And it's
Now you're
like
going back.
it's super crazy. Yeah.
Be
So
hard to keep with that.
now I'm yeah, it's weird because it's right. Obviously, bikini's one from the back. Everybody knows that.
Right.
But when I started, tie-ins weren't a thing. They didn't exist. You
Interesting.
literally
Yeah.
were a beach. You were a
Yeah.
bikini beach model. That
Right.
was the look.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is no longer a thing. That has been gone for a number of years. And I will say this: it not so much in regionals, but if you do not have tie-ins, do not go to nationals. You
Mhm.
don't have a chance in hell.
Fair
You
enough.
just don't.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But like I don't have the greatest tie-ins, but I keep working
Mhm.
on that. That is my weaker side of things. But it also comes with like conditioning and like my muscle density. But the older I get, the harder it gets. But I'm still trucking along. I'm a masters competitor now. I just competed at the Nova Scotia show and won the Open, won the Masters and the overall, and then went to Canadian Nationals and got second. I was
You're
this close
so
to getting the pro
close.
card. So close. So I'm going to keep going. I'm now qualified for both Masters and Open for all of 2024. So we shall see how that goes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm the goddess. I'm the reigning goddess champion for Atlantic
Yep.
Canada. So and that's
so,
coming up in the next one.
so
You're
yeah.
gonna you're gonna do it again.
I to be determined. I'm not going to say
Right.
anything yet.
That's
So
fair.
Tiffany, in all those, since 2014 to now, you've done all those shows? You probably didn't have much time off.
No, I've
Like
competed every year since I started.
every year.
Multiple
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
That's how you got so
Except
good.
when the pandemic hit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
except the pandemic. So I was prepping, but the shows all got canceled.
Mhm.
So 2020 and 2021, I did not compete because of the pandemic.
Right.
And then, so I competed 2019, and then continued to kind of prep, hoping that the shows would happen. And then I competed again in 2022 after everything kind of went back to normal.
Right.
Yeah. I refused to get on stage to wear a mask. I was like, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. So
I wasn't doing it either.
I'll wait till there's no mask mandate.
Yeah.
Not my thing. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to get my face done if you can't see it.
Oh yeah.
No thanks.
No, I don't blame you.
Getting those pictures and like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, they got through it, but.
So yeah,
so that's kind of it in a nutshell. Lots of shows, always doing one, always getting ready for something. It seems.
It's easier to get better that way. You just compete and then you get feedback and go with the next one. It's the right way to do it if you're gonna.
That's the only way you're gonna get better. Honestly, is you have to have the experience. Like if you're
in dieting and everything,
and you are serious. If you're serious about wanting to continue to do it, you can't compete once every couple of years. It's pointless.
Yeah, it's
right. Like
it's hard to learn your body that way. It's hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's hard to see your look that you want and look for.
Yeah, and especially where it changes so much. So that's the other thing.
Yep.
It's like it changes every year. Every national show, it's a different look.
Yeah, which is, I find it's so interesting and like just so crazy to compare like pictures from one year to the next and see the differences and see like the muscle maturity or the thickness or like the graininess or like the tie-ins showing up one year and the not the next year. Yeah. And like trying to figure out what did I do differently throughout this year than last year, and just or maybe not. Maybe it's just another year added on top of training, which can like change some things.
Well, it can change. Yeah, it definitely can.
Right. So, what would you think one of your biggest like wow moments from like one year to the next, where you've seen like the biggest difference? From like your 15th place to your first place kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that was something, but I would say that my biggest wow moment was probably coming back after the pandemic, honestly. So going from 2019 to like when I stepped back on stage in 2022, I completely changed and morphed my physique. It was like they were totally different, but in a good way, and it showed. It veered well for me. Like I came back and I dominated Atlantics and won the Open overall, and I won the Goddess overall. So I walked out of there with basically everything, and then I went to Toronto Pro Qualifier and I got third, and that was the highest I had ever placed at a national level show. Because I always placed at the national shows. I was always in the top 5, but third was the highest I had gotten. So like, for me, that was my biggest wow moment because it meant I can do this. I belong up here. I'm top 3. I'm that close. I got to keep going. So that was my wow moment because, it was as I was getting older, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna hang up in my shoes. Like I'm done. Like I've done what I've had to. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna happen for me. I'm not gonna turn pro. It is what it is, and I accepted that. And then in 2022, when I kind of went through that, I was like, I can't stop now.
No.
So I just it lit a fire. Even more so under me to keep going, and I just pushed even harder and trained even harder, and then came back even better this year. So, and next year will be
the year.
Better. So,
yeah, I remember competing at the Goddesses. Well, I wasn't one of the Goddesses, but I was there. I was going for that tiara. I swear to God, I was going to have it. But no, it wasn't my turn. What? Can we not do that now? No? Okay, not yet. We're not there yet?
No.
Okay, fine.
We'll leave it. That's hers. That's hers, Josh.
Okay, fine.
Oh gosh.
No. I did compete that year as well, and again coming back after the pandemic.
And that was a big year for you too, Josh.
That was huge.
You changed a lot.
that kind of set me on my put the fire under me again. So I kind of get it.
Mhm.
But saying that, do you think having that time off during the pandemic was like really helped your physique? And thinking about that, like
Yeah, that's
taking those time off of those doing all those shows like you have been doing, and then I took a year or 2 years off, and now my physique is just morphed into something else. Do you think maybe competing so much was holding you back a little bit? Did you
I don't think
even.
so. Honestly, it was more so like because I like focused a lot on like lifestyle stuff then. Like I had graduated from university with like my third degree, and I was starting a new career. And we had moved to New Brunswick, so I was living in St. John, and so like I kind of was focusing on that kind of stuff for a bit. And but I was still training hard. Like I still had goals in my mind. My body is very like responsive to things, so it's like it doesn't need like a whole lot of time off. Um, but to be completely honest, not competing for that long was pure torture. I didn't know what the
okay?
hell I was
Yep.
doing with myself. I was like
Fair.
losing
No.
my freaking mind. Like I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm ready to do a show, but it just wasn't in the cards because
Yeah, for
mentally,
everybody.
because of the pandemic, I was suffering. I was like, I think the prep would have been terrible because of
Right.
what was going on. And I just
Oh,
wouldn't have been able to give it my all. But yeah, so I was just like, I still trained as hard as I did. I still had like worked with my coach. We were, I was on plan all the time. So I was still prepping. I just wasn't getting ready for a show.
Right.
So
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So your coach, who's coaching you, Tiffany? Who's your coach?
I am now with Aaron Armini. So
I
he
just
is out of Winnipeg, and he's a well-known posing coach.
okay.
If you know who he is, his company is Certified Bodybuilding, and
Nice.
I joined with him at the I think mid to end of June this past June, and we've been good. It's been great so far. We've learned lots about my body and what it responds well to and what it hates
Oh,
and what it
interesting.
needs. Um, yeah, so it's been a great learning experience, and I'm excited to kind of continue on to see what else we can do. And
Cool.
he's
Awesome.
great.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. Awesome.
So
So
through
you
so
had.
through, oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to say, did you have many coaches like through this whole journey? 14 on?
Not not no, not really.
No.
My first coach, I was with her for like one or two shows. And then the coach after that, which was Johnny, actually, Johnny Sharif, I was with
Oh,
him for
nice.
years.
Oh yeah.
For years. So a lot of my success, I will say, I do owe to him. He did
Ah,
get
that's
me,
great.
quite far, and I will forever cherish that. We are still
Mm.
amazing friends and whatnot. Like we have such a great relationship, and I owe a lot of my success to him, and you know, he's a great person. So,
Yeah, that's
and
Yeah.
then
really
after
nice.
that, I was with Ludacris for 2 years, Team Ludacris, and now I'm with Aaron. So I'm quite loyal. Like I don't believe in coach hopping. I
Yeah.
actually hate that.
Hmm.
But you do as you kind of go up in the ranks, it's natural for you to change coaches,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just kind of, based off of your goals and what you're looking for, what
Right.
type of coaching style you need based off of
Hmm.
your goals and stuff. So it just, and you can't take it to heart. You can't, get mad at the coach, or you can't get mad at the athlete for it. Like it is a natural thing within bodybuilding, and
Oh yeah,
it's a
Yes.
business,
definitely
and you just
is.
have to take it for what it is, right? So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still close with everybody I've worked with. There's no ill blood or bad blood, as people like to try and make things up and say that there's
Right.
stuff going
Yeah.
on. There
Always
isn't.
drama.
I'm still friends with
Always.
everybody. Like I hate drama, and I've always moved on and still kept very close relationships with everybody. So
Great. Perfect. That's good.
No,
You learn as you go too about you with other coaches too, and you pick up things and move on, like you said. And
like
it is good maybe to jump, and as you move up in the ranks to find something that's going to help you move ahead too, whether it be your same coach or another one, but it's your chance to move up. It's your chance to do what you want to do.
yeah. The only thing I just don't like to see is that you're not giving your coach a fair chance, where it's like you're switching
Hmm.
coaches every show. Like,
right, yeah.
no
Oh yeah,
offense, but you're not going to get
that's
you're
not.
not going to get any progress
No.
because
No, you're
you're
not.
not going to give yourself a fair chance to figure out your body and that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
that's that's something that
Yeah.
you kind of have to be aware of as well. So
Yeah.
Like when you're coming in, especially with athletes on like your level, we really have to like the coaches. It's hard work on the coach's end, trying to figure out your body, trying to figure out what works for you. Like you just said, you've learned new things that your body likes, that your body doesn't like.
Hmm.
That that's just it's also can be quite a lot of work and stressful for a new coach coming into like such a high athlete and like so good on them and like
Yeah.
and having
Pressure.
patience on your end too to like setting out like laying out the groundwork all over again is
Hmm.
it's a
yeah,
big
and
deal.
you just have to be trusting and understand that you may not nail it the first show. Like
Yep.
the chances of you nailing it the first show are going to be very, very, very low. If you do, you do. That's great. But I would say, like you're probably not going to nail it with a coach maybe till like your second, third show.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you
Oh, for
have to
sure.
be
Yep.
patient and you have to give the time and you need to trust your coach and you need to follow your plan and you as an
Hmm.
athlete need to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
And just understand like just because you didn't get the outcome you wanted the first time doesn't mean that it's not coming because you're still learning.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Still. So like for example, like you've done like so many shows, and then just recently now that you switched coaches, you said you're still learning some new things about your body. Like what
mhm.
kind of stuff have you been picked up recently that you didn't know in the beginning?
So I'm
Probably.
super sensitive, and it does
Yeah.
not take me long to fill out.
Oh, good,
So
good.
we don't. It doesn't take much to fill out. However, once I fill out, you have to keep me full because I will fade fast. So if I don't eat literally on a scheduled regimen like show day, I will literally lose everything like that.
Really.
So my metabolism just goes crazy, and I will flatten out. I'll fill up really, really good, but then if I don't eat every 2.5 hours, literally on the dot, I will fade, and everything is just gone.
And you can't get it back.
Yeah,
Right.
I can, but it's
Hard, but
hard
it's hard.
because you
Yeah.
don't want to spit. You don't want to
You
spill. You don't
spill,
want to
yeah.
spill, right? So
There's
it's
that
more so
risk.
just like
Hmm.
right. So I just
Yep.
have to make sure. Okay, when did I eat? And I have to time it. Like I
Hmm.
have to because it's just and like we're playing with the times of like you're trying to figure out when you're going on stage. Okay, like I have to get up
Yeah,
at this time, getting my hair and makeup done. Like it's very, my body is very finicky when it comes to that.
Wow.
interesting. And
Yeah. Really.
so like, are you up like throughout the night, like eating every couple hours throughout the night, the day before the show, or are you?
No, no, it's
Okay.
actually I actually do a really good carb load like a day or two before, and I stay pretty full, so that I don't have to do that. But on show day, because bikinis always last on,
Right. Yeah.
which we all know. So we're usually pretty late on, but we're usually up pretty early because sometimes you have to get to hair and makeup for 4 a.m. So it's
So
like
early.
you're eating, you're trying to eat at like 2.5 hours while getting all this stuff done and staying full. But then it's more so. And the thing, like what I love about working with Aaron too, like he's right there with me, like at the show. So like
Oh,
he
that's
can
awesome.
see if I'm fading. So he's like, he'll like, he can tell by looking at me like, okay, it's been over 2 hours since you ate, hasn't it? And I'll be like, yes. He goes, you need to eat right now. So like, at the Nova Scotia show, for example, like we noticed I was starting to fade. when we got to the night show, and he was like, eat like 6 rice cakes right now with peanut butter and a banana. I want you to shove it in your face right now. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And I'm like backstage, like eating all these rice cakes, and he was like, don't drink water. And I was like, how am I going to swallow this? Like, I'm
With that peanut
on the
butter.
phone with him, shoveling this shit, and I'm like choking, like dust is coming out of my mouth from eating so many rice cakes. But it's that's kind
You're
of where we were at. So it's just like we're still
Now.
learning together. But
It's like, please don't let you go out on stage with peanut butter all over your face and in your teeth. You're just like,
oh my gosh, it was quite something. And then when we went to Toronto for Canadian Nats, he was there with me, and he could monitor that better. And he was like, he could just look at me and just be like, yeah, you got to eat right now. So we knew that I had to eat every 2.5 hours on the dot. Like we had to.
Nice.
So I wouldn't fade.
Yeah. That's neat.
Wow.
Oh, it's a pretty cool experience to be able to go through that, though.
So when you're talking,
Yes.
Tiffany, on your load up, like what is actually your carb intake for that? For when you're loading up just before the show? Or roughly.
I couldn't tell you the exact amount of carbs, but you know, I carved up probably more for Nova Scotia than I did for Canadian Nat. So we were probably looking close to like 1,000 grams of carbs, just trying to like fill out and stuff, and
Wow.
lots of rice and lots of oats. My body responded really well to having like an oatmeal with some like almond butter and stuff in it. That seemed to kind of be like I guess like the holy grail that my body just was like, all right. And it just like absorbed the crap out of it, which is not something I typically would ever eat. Like oats are never my go-to. I don't.
Right. That's
like,
something that you
my
don't
body doesn't
usually
like to
have.
digest it well.
Right.
Yeah, like my body's never really responded well to it, but for whatever reason, this prep, my body was loving it, and it was like, okay, we got to do this. So I was eating a lot of like oats. I was having like an 80-gram bowl of oats with like protein powder and almond butter in it, and then he was giving me a banana. And I was crying because it tasted so good. And so it was like the best thing in the world. And like my body was just like, I would wake up and I was just absolutely like peeled to the nines. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't do dirty carb load.
No.
I definitely don't do that. I don't do, like the burgers or anything the night before. It's very, very clean the whole time.
I find it. Yeah, it's a risk. The dirty carbs are a risky business. It can be. But
yeah, it works for some people though.
Yeah.
It does. It's just a variable I'm not willing to take the risk on.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, all right. Can we pause for a second? I'm just going to check my internet connection here. Let's see. It's being a little glitchy. Are you guys still there? No. There we go.
Almost fell asleep. I worked all weekend too, eh? Oh.
Did you?
There she is. Yeah.
Did you guys boot me out?
Nope. Didn't mean to.
He did.
I did. The
He booted me out too.
The internet is like, or you were getting a little glitchy there. I was trying to fix it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's probably me. Fucking house.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's yeah, you're a little glitchy, but I think we can handle it.
Okay.
Oh, we can only see you, which is great, but in like the three of us. But if you turn your camera to your left.
Oh my.
Oh, the other way. Right. Ooh, there they are.
Yeah.
That's the
The
hardware.
whole
That's fun.
trophy case.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Damn. I was like, I need to get mine back here. I got to get rid of this poster.
You said that.
I need a new.
I
You've
say
been
it every
saying that.
time.
You say it every time.
I do.
Just do it, Josh. Just do it.
I always like to ask this question about, like, because this is Bodybuilders Amateur Hour. We like to get into. It's kind of, this show is kind of geared towards obviously amateurs and people coming into the sport. So I would love to hear about your first stage experience leading up to it, the prep, if you can remember back then, like your prep leading up to it, backstage, going on stage for the first time, what that's like and how you dealt with any fears, anxieties, or was it just awesome and you were like just totally loving every minute?
That was a long time. I gotta remember. I was definitely scared. Um, I actually suffered from an eating disorder for years,
Oh,
and
interesting.
then decided to get into bodybuilding. But I met amazing people. The community was fantastic, and we had group posing back then, and so it was like all came together every week or so. So I got to meet people, be with them, and really enjoyed it. Honestly,
That's
I mean, I
nice.
came
So you had a
dead
really good,
last,
but you had a
but
good community around you to support that.
yeah, and it was huge back then. Um, like way bigger than it was a few years ago. It's growing again, but it was massive back then here in Nova Scotia. Yeah,
Yeah. And where
but
was the show at?
it
Was
was
that the Rebecca Cohen? Is that,
yes,
yeah?
and moved over to the Spats, which is where it's back now.
Right.
So it was cool. We had a lot of fun backstage. I remember a lot of laughs, silliness, and everyone was relaxed. Um, I was shaking like a leaf, being out on stage for the
Right.
first time. Like I remember my legs buckling underneath me, just shaking.
Oh,
Um, my posing was shit. It was terrible. um, but I've gotten better since and
yes,
teach
for
Yeah.
sure.
now. But that is one thing I I took away from that was posing. It was got to get better at the posing.
Mhm.
Because you don't realize how important it actually is until you do it.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah.
but it was awesome, and I was addicted. So,
Like,
and here we are, 10
that's,
years later.
it's interesting because usually I find people will go either way. Like, especially if you didn't place well in your first show, it's either you absolutely like the experience was good, but I'm never doing it again. It's horrible. Like
Yeah.
that was not worth it. It's done and it's over. But then there's the person on the other side where even last you could come dead last and think it was the most amazing thing ever.
Mhm.
And
It was just the most out of body experience, and I had to keep going. Like I just loved it so much, and like I said, here we are now. Like I'm
it's
still
so
going.
I find it so funny when it's that experience and God, it's only like minutes long in of accumulated stage time. And that those few minutes will take away months of suffering, right? It's
Yeah.
like in our minds it doesn't matter. That suffering doesn't matter just for those few minutes and how great that feels.
Nothing compares to that rush
Yeah.
when you come off stage and you're just like, whoa, like nothing
Right.
compares to that.
No,
So
Yeah.
I
So,
feel that every time. It doesn't get old, does it?
nope,
No.
it's an amazing feeling.
how many shows have you done, Jamie? Just so for
30, 32, 31. I think, yeah, 31. But
so
I've been
yeah.
competing since I was 18, and I just turned 50. So I did a lot of shows too. It never changes.
Mhm.
It's right from the prep, right start, right on through for me. But it consumes you though. That's the thing. It
Mhm.
does consume you, and
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
it is. It's a lifestyle.
It's
Yeah,
not a
So
16-week prep. It's a
yeah.
lifestyle.
It doesn't. It
yeah.
doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, and I love it. I feel you. I love it.
So Tiff, saying that the lifestyle that you live, you have to be definitely supported by many other people, right?
Mhm.
This is not like it's not you or how am I going to say it? It's not just you up there, right? It's like it's everybody else in your life to allow you to do this and
Mm.
to do this every freaking year. So how does one do that every year and have a normal life, have friends, family? Like how do you operate while competing almost every year?
I'm lucky that I have understanding people in my life. So my daughter, my partner, he used to compete, so he understands it.
Okay,
He
good.
no longer
Yeah,
does. So he allows me to continue.
lives through you.
My
Yeah, get
parents,
it.
yeah, my parents understand um, why I do it. They don't actually understand the sport, but they
Yeah.
understand why I do
Hmm.
and support that. My dad is so proud of him. Like it's crazy. He shows me off like pictures of me to
Yeah.
his friends and stuff, and I'm like, Dad, don't do that. Like, don't be
It's like
showing pictures of it. Like, he's
pictures
like,
of me
that's
in a
my
bikini.
daughter. That's my daughter. Like, so I'm
That's
blessed in that
wonderful. Yeah, that's
sense.
wonderful.
And all of my friends are in the fitness world
Hmm.
somehow. Like they've competed or they do, so they get it.
Right.
So if I
Yeah.
go
Makes
MIA, they're like, "Oh, she's getting ready for a show."
Hmm.
yeah, makes it a little bit more manageable that way when you have so many people understanding.
Hmm.
It's
So,
hard to stick with it and keep going if you don't,
yeah.
because you always feel
Oh,
like
very.
you're letting somebody down somewhere somehow. So
Hmm.
that's the way you keep going. Surround yourself with those people, and you
Hmm.
already have them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So then how did you said you were in school and work, how do you balance all of that lifestyle, that life and then training?
I don't know. I just
It's like
did.
what yeah. Because you had to?
I I had to. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I didn't make excuses. I just did.
Hmm.
I had every minute of my day scheduled from time I woke
Ah,
up to bed. So,
Ooh.
wow. Yep. Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of have to, right? It's like including meals, training.
yep. Get up, do my cardio, get my daughter up, make her breakfast, get her to school, go to work, go to the gym, meal prep, get her to
Uh,
bed, do it again.
Wow.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd have to schedule that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
That's why
Cool.
I'm in bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. All
I
right.
get up
I can see.
before.
I can see why. I can see why.
Totally
I'm lucky
understandable.
now because she's 13, so
Hmm.
it's not like she's a toddler
Okay. Yeah, that
anymore.
makes it a little
So
easier.
it's a lot easier, and I'm
Hmm.
not in school full time. I have a full time job, thank God.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. Yeah, and what do you do? And like, are they understanding of when you're like coming into the last couple of weeks and not functioning
well,
usually as well
it
as you
was
normally would?
new for them because I had recently started a new career last year, so they didn't know until I got close, but they were super awesome and supportive. and I predominantly work from home, so it helps.
Okay, that's
So,
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
adds a little
that's
bit, takes a little bit away.
hmm
most definitely. All right. Let's see here.
Some
I got a
questions. Some
yeah, I got a
questions.
couple. I got a couple questions I'm gonna pull up from.
I don't know if I should be
um,
scared.
No.
this is from no. This is from Erica. She says, on the days you don't feel like, on the days you feel like giving up, what keeps you going? Do you have off days? Do you have days you're like sitting there, it's like I just don't want to, but you do anyway?
Absolutely. I'm human. Um, every other day I want to give up, but I I'm not a quitter. I'm not a little bitch, and I just do it.
What a
As
girl.
much as
I
I
like
want
it.
to,
I like it.
yeah, as much as I want to give up, my goals are bigger,
Hmm.
and I will never let my daughter see me quit at anything, so that she know she can do anything she wants. So the harder I work, she she has the confidence in herself to do whatever she wants to do. So
Yeah, amazing.
she's
Like
Good job.
she's
my
your
biggest
yeah,
reason.
she's your inspiration really.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's awesome.
yeah. Lucky her.
She's probably
uh
in her room going, "Mom, what are you talking about?"
it's like bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
No, that's that's great. Um Ashley wants to know what was the hardest part of the training you've. What is the hardest part of training, and what do you find the most rewarding?
The hardest
Training,
part of training.
training. I'm not sure if you meant. Let's not say diet because diet always sucks. Like, is there like a particular part of the training aspect that you find difficult or unenjoyable?
Well, I think the closer you get to a show, you just get so tired. You lose your strength.
Yeah,
So it gets really hard to push because you want to push harder,
Hmm.
but you physically can't. And you feel like you're not giving 100%, even though you are. So
Yeah.
you get hard on yourself. So I find that the hardest part. It's almost like being in your mind.
right.
Hmm.
Um, but you also don't want to hurt yourself by pushing when you're that tired,
Yeah,
Right. Right.
right?
definitely.
So I think that's the hardest part is the closer you get, the weaker, the tired,
Hmm.
and you just got to keep going. And it's just hard.
Like the
It's just,
You don't want to.
it's just,
yeah, it becomes
What
like
was
the
the other
mental.
part to the,
Just about like what do you find the most rewarding out of everything?
honestly, it's the day that you want to give up. The hardest days you you're struggling to go to the gym, but you get there, you get your workout, you leave, and you feel amazing, and you're glad you
right.
did it. And
Yeah,
it's
hell
it's so
yes.
rewarding because you're happy you did
Yeah.
it, right? You're doing this. You're doing something a lot of people will never be able to do.
What is the
And I
percentage?
find that
97% of the people, the population, could never step on stage. Something
absolutely.
ridiculously high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
So I think that's it. It's you know, it's a blessing you get to do this.
Hmm.
And
yeah,
if you can push through your hardest days, regardless of what's going on in your life, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah. When you know you didn't give up, right? That's the greatness in you.
Yeah. It's you're proud. You're
Yeah.
you're proud of what you're accomplishing. right? It's amazing. Like you're like, my body did that. I did that.
right.
What the hell? Like,
Like, I think it's one thing to have like your buddy or somebody come up to you and say, "Good job," proud of you, you did great, and then you can be like, "Yeah, okay, cool." But if you internally feel that, I think that is the win.
yes.
That's actually like quite hard to get. Like that, to be proud of yourself, I find is harder than it is for other people to be proud of you. For
Yeah.
me, anyways.
Oh, yeah. Your
So
expectations are quite high,
yes, always.
I find the longer you do
Hours.
this, yeah, the longer you do this, you don't need validation from other people. You
Not
need the
anymore.
validation from yourself,
Yeah.
and you learn that, and you do get it eventually, and it makes it worth it. So,
You're right.
So when you started competing, your very first shows like mine and Jamie's, social media wasn't as big as it was. We competed pretty much for ourselves. And nowadays it feels like sometimes we're competing for the camera and for likes, shares, and all that crap, and podcasts. So it's so like what was like the motivation to get you on stage the first couple of times? Like, was there like people in your life? Like why the hell did you want to step on stage in a bikini and have people look at you and be like,
Yeah. Did somebody tell you you would be good, or did you just want to try something new where you started training? And
basically that. I like I said, I was sick for many years, and it was getting to a point where I was either going to probably die if I didn't find a way to become healthy. So I joined a gym for an outlet, and I started to work on self healing. I found a new love for my body, how to fuel it, not to be scared of food, and met amazing people. Met some competitors who were new into it, followed them, watched what they were doing, went to a couple of shows, and then thought maybe I could try this. Not sure where it's going to take. Is it going to set me back? Is it going to make me better? I took the risk, and it actually saved my life. So,
yeah,
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
If you mind, we could step back and talk a minute about before you competed and when you were sick. Going in from having an eating disorder and then going into the gym, where you're going to be again burning extra calories and burning, trying to do something that requires energy. Was that the purpose of going in there, knowing that if you wanted to perform at the gym, you would have to eat? Or like, because that could also have like a negative effect on you, giving you another outlet to burn more fuel.
it was more so something I needed to channel what was going on in my life. And I couldn't control anything back then, and I could control my food intake. So I was like hurting myself negatively, like through not eating. And I was sick for over 10 years. Like I
Oh wow, okay.
was like 115 pound, like with my daughter when I was pregnant.
Oh,
So I was very tiny.
okay, yeah.
Um,
Wow.
How tall are you?
and
Just want to put this into perspective.
5'5", 7/8", so just under
7,
five
yeah.
six. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I was very, like, I'm not a big girl, so I was very small, like tiny, tiny. Um, and it just got to the point after I had my daughter, like I was going back to my old ways, wasn't eating, hurting myself, and I needed to do something. I was in
Yeah.
and out of therapy, hospital, nothing was working. I needed something new. So I joined the gym, hoping it was going to open up my eyes into a new world that I could heal myself. And the whole purpose was so that I could gain weight, actually.
Yeah.
So I could start eating, but eat to fuel my body
Right.
instead
Yes.
of hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my purpose.
Well, you did it.
I did.
Yeah.
You did it.
Took a while.
I was gonna
It
say,
was
like,
scary.
how long was that process? And like the beginning, did you have someone in the gym with you taking you through the beginning part, or did you have like,
No.
was this something that you did on your own?
I did it on my own. 3 years until I met Johnny. And he kind of introduced me to the bodybuilding
Oh,
stuff.
interesting.
Yeah. I was a quiet, scared, timid girl in the gym that would just come in and do my thing, probably looking ridiculous, but I did it myself. Yeah.
Oh,
Good for you.
yeah.
Good for you.
Which it's amazing because even like guys and girls both have such a hard time starting, right? Just like
Yeah.
getting in, feeling comfortable. Um, and yeah, so like if you can go in there at 115 or 120 pounds, scared, not knowing what to do, and like become like now you're going for your pro card. Like that's incredible journey. What a like it's if anyone's looking for inspiration, you are it, right? Like that's
You
amazing.
are.
Oh, thank you.
It is amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of girls and guys, who end up on the other side of it where they do end up with disorders. And I went the other way where it saved my life.
yeah.
So I try to be open about my journey, my story, in hopes that people know there is hope. Like you can get better. Like bodybuilding doesn't have to ruin your life. It can be something that's going to make it better. It can save you.
It can. Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about after your first show, and maybe like after almost every show. Usually we'll have go through, people will start binge eating afterwards, or go through the post show blues, or like it can screw up like your relationship to food. How did you deal with that after coming out of a show and like kind of trying to come back to like a normal weight? And were you mentally okay with getting back to a normal weight?
So every show is different. There were shows I had no issues at all. I just reversed out. I did my thing. There are shows where I struggled, but didn't binge. I wouldn't eat. So it wasn't that I was binging gaining weight. It was I was supposed to be gaining weight. It
Right.
wasn't.
You kept lean.
I've yeah. So
Yeah.
I've since really worked on kind of that mental side of it because it's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Is knowing for hormonal, for strength, for just overall health, I have to gain weight. I can't be
Yeah.
scared to eat. I would say a good couple of years. It's like it takes a while. You have to be mentally strong. But I would say I'm lucky because my partner knows my past. He knows my history.
That's good.
And he can pick up if I'm reverting back. So if I'm not eating, he sees it. And he immediately steps in
Oh,
and
nice.
brings me back down, calms me, tells me why I need to do this, and it's okay. And then I can keep going. So every show's different.
Yeah.
This is probably the first time I've ever been so excited to put weight on and gain. Because I genetically just don't get big. My
I feel you
body
there.
tends
I'm
to
right with
sit
you on that one.
around. Yeah, my body's, even after a show, the biggest I'll get is like 127. I won't get any bigger. It just stops.
Oh, interesting.
So
So like your goal now just is to surpass that?
a little
Or
bit, but like muscle, right?
yeah,
Like I
of
don't want
course.
to. We don't want to gain body fat, like some, because you need to live, to survive. Um, but we have certain areas where we need to bring up, but like not much. So we don't want to get too crazy
Right, yeah.
because I don't want to have to
Yeah.
lose too much when I start prepping again. So, but I think having a person in your life like I do with my partner, it
Hmm.
really helps. Um, and Aaron, my coach, he's great. Like I can go to him if I'm having like an off day in my head, and he's also great at like just talking me through it. And he's like, he'll reiterate my goals, what we're trying to achieve, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do this. So
Nice.
talking things
Again,
through tends to help.
all
Yeah,
right.
it does.
Talk it through. Reiterate your
Again,
goals. Say them over and over. This is normal. This is what has to happen. And just keep your goals right there. But if you're scared you're going to binge or you're not going to eat, reach out to somebody. Talk to somebody before you start doing it. Because somebody's gone through it, been there, and they're not going to judge you. There's tons of us.
100%.
Anybody
Yeah.
can reach out to me anytime. I'll be happy to bring you back down.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome.
So, speaking of that, let's get into another question about reaching out to you. This one comes from Sarah. Tiff, I love you. You look awesome at the gym, but you are scary, and I really want to talk to you, but you scare me.
That's just my face.
So,
Do not be scared to talk to me. I just get focused in what I'm doing. And I've probably just had Botox, so my face isn't moving.
right.
That's probably.
You're like,
I'm
okay.
actually super nice. I do smile, but if I'm in the middle of a set, I'm just listening to music, and I just don't have facial expressions. I'm just like,
It's pretty much what I've seen when
That's what
I'm there. I'm just like, yeah.
I'm
was
just in
gonna
a
ask-
zone.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the last time I seen you there about the podcast, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to leave her alone. I'll message her later.
Yeah, I've gotten that for years, but you can talk to me. I'll take my headphone. I'll talk to you. I'll laugh. I'll smile. Don't be scared. Anyone can say hi. And those who know me,
Right.
they always bug me, so it's fine. They know I'm nice. Just don't come up and try and hit on me. That's
God.
do not try to hit on me in the gym. I hate that. Like,
Do you get that often?
yes, drives me banana.
What's your most favorite line? Is there anything that ever stands out to you that you can remember?
Yes, a few. I don't want to say because
And
I
who
don't know if
said
he
it?
watches this. I don't know his name.
Oh, no,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
I don't know if he watches this, but he's gonna know it was
That's
him
fine.
if I say it.
It's all right.
When he came up to me, and I took my headphones. I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go."
There we go.
He's like, "I'm wearing purple," and I had a purple shaker. He goes, "Is purple your favorite color? You look like you work out." I'm in a gym, so yeah, so I work out.
You're like, oh god, it's going great
And
so
then he's
far.
like, he goes, "You're pretty balanced." Thanks.
What
And
is?
then he point to his truck that's purple. And I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? I'm like, "Is that your douche wagon? What's
Is
going on
that-
here? Like, what do you want?" And then he just proceeded. He's like, "Oh, well, we should hang out." I was like, "Dude, I'm 35 with a kid." And he's like,
You're
"What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, are you married?" I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "There's no ring."
It's like,
And I'm
he
just
keeps
like,
going. He's not giving up.
Yeah.
he just keeps going. And my buddy is on the
Persistent.
machine in front of
Yeah.
us. I can see him laughing. And I'm like, help me. Like, help me. And he just proceeds to keep going. And he's just like, "Well, you look really good. Can I, like, work out with you sometime?"
Oh
And I'm
no.
like, "No."
Like, really,
I'm like,
yeah.
"No."
Yeah, he
No,
didn't
you
get the
can't.
hint. You were
And I was
not.
just like,
Yeah.
my man wouldn't appreciate that. And then he's like, "Oh, okay." And walked away.
Ah.
And I was like,
So
I'm never going to get that 10
the
minutes
married-
back.
Married thing didn't get him.
No,
No.
the
No
married
way.
thing never gets anybody.
Oh, really?
Some people have some balls. Like,
That's wild.
I'm in a happy relationship. Leave me alone. Like, I don't want to have to tell you 10 times, because then I will be a bitch. I will. So, I'll be nice the first couple
If I need-
times. You don't
If I
take a
need
hint,
to be,
I'm
I
gonna be a
will.
bitch.
Oh,
Well-
wonderful. Oh, wonderful.
That was a good story. And that guy, hopefully he's watching too.
My buddy always teases me to this day about it. Because if he comes into the gym, he's like, "Guess who's here?" I'm like, "Shit!"
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, "I gotta go."
Now, do you find yeah? So people that are watching, yeah, definitely the wrong time to do it. The gym is not the place,
Yes.
right?
Please do not try to pick up people. Like, this ain't
Yeah.
Tinder.
No.
No.
We're there to smash demons, not find a date. Sorry.
Right. But then on the other hand, there are some that are there putting on makeup before they go do a set. So, guys and
Please don't.
girls. So,
To each his own.
yeah.
Whatever makes you feel good.
So, yeah, yeah. At least you're trying to be healthy in some way or another. So,
yes.
if that's what gets you there, go for it, I guess.
Exactly. If you want to look good, all for it. Don't care.
I couldn't imagine sweating
ask
with
me out.
makeup on.
Just
It's
leave me alone.
right. If I'm coming from my office, I have a full face.
Right.
But if I'm like working from home, I go to the gym look like a hobo. But like, if I'm coming right from work, I'm like, damn it, like full face of makeup. I'm like, it's gross. You feel nasty.
Yeah, I imagine. I imagine. Yeah, so I had a couple of questions, pretty much all obtaining to that whole situation of just being approachable in the gym, which is just need
Sorry, guys.
Just need to ask that once.
No, you cleared it.
Come on.
Make it clear.
Just come.
So that's
The do's and don'ts. Just you made it clear.
yeah,
Yep.
awesome. And I want to give a shout to females that are coming up into thinking about doing bikini, or do you have any would you have any tips, any suggestions to people that are thinking about doing it, that are kind of on the fence, and how do they know that bikini is the right category? You see a lot of people coming in, especially now that there's a lot of announcements and the bikini's changed quite a bit here and there. If what would you suggest to some newcomers that are coming in to the sport?
Do your research. Go to a show. Go to a posing class. Those are your first 3 things you need to do. And then just talk to people about the different divisions. Reach out to judges or promoters like Heather LeBlanc. She can assess your physique and kind of look at you and be like, your figure, your wellness. But if you come to a posing class, we can typically see off of your structure what you could fall into. However, if you want to do bikini and you have a lot of work to do, just do the work. If it's the division you want to do,
Right.
work into the division. It takes time.
I like it.
Regardless of genetics, you have to work into the division, into the class. It's just not going to happen. And be patient. Understand it's not going to happen overnight. And just get out there and talk to people. That's
cool. Yeah.
And don't commit. Don't be like, I'm competing in 6 months. And you've never stepped on stage, you've never been to a posing class, you've never even watched a show. If you've never watched a show, do not even think about it. Because this is a commitment, it's a lifestyle. This is not just a 16-week prep. Like, you have to be committed. So make sure you're ready and do your research. Yeah.
Perfect. That's good advice.
Yeah. I like
great
it.
Advice for you.
We're getting on to the hour. I just want a couple more questions before we wrap things up, if that's okay. Jamie,
Absolutely.
you're good?
I'm good.
You're good?
He's falling asleep.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It is getting
I'm
late.
a little bit tired, but I got to use the washroom soon too. No, that's all I'm going to.
Is that why you're doing this?
Yeah, I'm kind of moving around. I was telling Josh earlier. I had worked all weekend too, so I'm kind of at my end right now.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you being here, man. Thank you.
Oh no, I wouldn't have missed it. Thanks for coming, Tiffany. Really.
We just want to talk about. You mentioned earlier about balancing hormones. Hormonal levels for guys and girls are very different when we go through a show, and keeping everything like natural and like regulated and making sure things are working properly. For someone that's coming into the show, doing it for the first time, would you have any suggestions or what they should be looking out for female competitors, and like watching, like, because sometimes females will, like, you know, go through a show and they stop. What's the word? Yeah.
The period.
The period.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah. I was trying to think that, or stop.
Trying to say this.
Stop. I was gonna say stop menstruating, going through, and like, yeah.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. You saved him.
I was like, trying to think of the word. Now I'm all.
I know you were, but it wasn't.
Now I'm all. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people, I know some females that stops and completely, like, and others it does not, and just want to make sure, like, is that normal? Is it not? What is your experiences with this whole?
So, I mean, I think for the first 5 years of competing, I never lost mine. As I got older, and as the division shifted and the conditioning level, and you had to come in leaner, I started to lose it. It is normal. It's very common. You just gotta monitor it. So, like, see how long it takes to come back. Monitor how far out from the show it goes away. And just make sure you're watching, like, energy level, hair loss, that kind of thing. And really, a few weeks after the show, get blood work done. Just to make sure everything is balanced. Don't do it right after. Mm-hmm. Like, don't even do it 3 weeks. Like, wait 4 weeks, and get your blood work done. And just to kind of see where everything's at. Like, for me, I lost mine back in April. And I did 3 shows. It is now October. And it came back 2 weeks post-show. So that's a good sign.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
good
pretty good.
telltale
Yeah.
sign that my hormones are starting to balance back out. But I won't know the full story until I get my blood work. So it's very important we stay on top of that. And reversing and eating properly is going to help that. So just make sure you're doing that and not binging and screwing up your insulin sensitivity, right? Because that'll mess with your hormones too. So just be mindful of that. Yeah.
Good tip.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Perfect.
No, that's really great. And one other question someone else asked here is about, if you don't mind speaking on PEDs for a minute before we go.
Okay.
If you can, if not, I could just
can't.
cut.
What do they want to know?
I could just cut this part out.
Do they want to know if I'm natural? Is that
That's
what
like that, and if you have taken them, how, like, what is the proper, like, this person is wondering, they've competed once, they think they want to jump into a cycle for bikini, and they don't know how or much information about it.
Mm-hmm.
And who, if anyone, that should recommend talking to?
First of all, understand that if it's something you want to do, it's your choice. But talk to your coach as well. That's your biggest thing. Is it your coach that's pushing it and you don't want to? Or do you actually want to talk to your coach and see what their recommendation is? If they're, a seasoned coach, they should know. If you're not sure, talk to other competitors, see what they think. Because there are common things bikini athletes take, and then there are some uncommon things a lot of bikini girls shouldn't be taking, but take.
Right.
So just understand the risks that are associated with that. But if it is something that you want to do, just know that it's there. Do your research. Do as much research as you can on side effects. Understand your own health history. Because if you take something and you have a health condition and it does something, you're taking that risk. So the more research you do before you just take something is the best advice I can get. Yeah.
You're right.
But it is common.
Right. And then
bikini athletes take stuff.
And then your experience, like you've mentioned, what has your experience been with that? Negative, positive, anything at all? On
positive.
That?
I have taken stuff. I've taken your common stuff, Clen. I've taken Anavar. I've taken Austrian. Novaldex. But nothing too hard. Just like the common things.
Those are all very good, mild.
Right, very mild.
Yeah.
Mild things. In very small dosages, nothing high. And I don't run stuff for very long. I typically don't run anything in my off season, in my building season.
Good.
It's really
good. That's smart.
It's stuff that I have in my toolbox if I need it during prep. Because I want to make the most of my off season naturally to see what I can do.
Right.
And that's going to come from training hard and eating. However, the higher you get in the ranks, sometimes you need assistance if you're trying to build on a certain area. So, again, it's just doing your research, see what works for you, what aligns with your goals, and what risks and side effect you could potentially looking at if you plan on introducing it. So right now I'm on nothing. We're on nothing.
Nice. Good. And you feel great?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel good. Tired because it's that time of the month and I haven't had since April.
Right. You're like,
So,
this is happening again.
so other than the fatigue, my strength is back up. I'm pushing weight I haven't in a really long, and it's awesome. I love it.
Nice.
So I'm training hard. Sleep is great. My hair's great. Skin's great. So.
Sounds like you've bounced back quite
Perfect.
nicely.
Yeah.
Yes, so far. You have to
good.
be smart. If
Yeah.
you're going to do this stuff, be smart. You don't need to take crazy cycles of all this random shit. It's not going to do anything. It's probably
No.
going to hurt you.
No.
It's going to probably put you back instead of doing what you needed to. And you don't need high dosages. I don't know why some of these
I don't know
girls
where that has
are
come
taking-
from in the past. Yeah.
Like, girls are so much more sensitive to PEDs in such small dosages that it's not needed. Like, you'll have so much better response with the small dosage without having side
Oh,
effects.
100%.
You'll get what you want, right?
Yeah.
So just
You
be
gotta-
smart.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
I haven't taken a whole lot, so my experience with PEDs are very limited.
Right.
I just take the common stuff.
Right. Yeah. But like that's just the stuff that works, right? And that's usually
Yeah,
what almost people need, if any. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
especially like when you're starting out, I would obviously recommend people to go as long as you can without, right? And then when you're
Yes.
starting
Yes.
to make your way and seeing if you have the genetic gift to keep on going and win, then maybe think about it. But
Exactly. There's no need for a first-time competitor doing a first show, even a second show, and being like, I want to jump on something.
yeah,
Give yourself time. See what you and your body can achieve before needing that, because you might be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
for sure. All right. Thank you very much. I'm just going to Jamie's sitting there losing her
I
mind.
was just going to go for a second. I was just going to go for a second. Or are you just wrapping it up? Or I don't want to push Tiffany along.
unless you got any more questions, man.
No, it's been great. She's said a lot. She's got a lot out there. It's good for these up
Sorry.
and coming girls.
No,
No,
it's awesome.
That's what it's for.
We need that.
Yeah, that's what we want for sure.
Right.
So it's great
So-
having her on.
Yeah, so I know
lot of
you do your own
Thank you.
coaching too. You are a coach. And if you want to
Yes,
if you want to
starting. Yeah.
give yourself a shout out, and if you want to say anything to anybody too, now's your time.
And your sponsors.
Yeah.
Have any sponsors? A shout out to your
Yes,
sponsors, maybe.
So yeah, if anybody is interested in coaching, I do have my books open. I have a forum on Instagram, Tiffany E. Lang, and you can fill out the form. I do lifestyle as well as prep, so reach out. I also teach posing with Nova Posing, but I also do
Yeah.
one-on-one, so you can DM me for a session. And shout out to my biggest sponsor, my family, Team All Max. They're my family. I love them.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yeah, been with them for over 5 years.
Wow.
I've been
good
Oh,
with
for
them.
you.
awesome.
So, yeah,
That's
Good
good.
for you.
So
They're treating you well
they've
then.
been behind me. Yeah, they are very well. I won't be going anywhere.
Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes you hear a lot of other things, not from Allmax, but like from just other supplement companies. But that's really nice to hear.
Yes, good for you.
Thank you.
It's nice to have a team behind you, especially for like 5 years too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's loyalty.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for having on. And like we learned a lot about you, and we now know that you're approachable. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
Just
Say hi. It's fine. Just don't ask me on a date.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right on. Thanks, Jamie, for coming in and
Thank
doing
you.
doing
Yes.
things.
Thank you, Tiffany.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Finally.
Thank you so
great
much for
having you
having
on.
me, guys. This
problem.
was awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
No problem. See you later.
We'll see.
Thanks.
We'll do it. Maybe do another one. Maybe sooner and maybe later.
Sure.
Whenever that pro
Yeah.
card comes around too. Probably the next thing around will be your pro card. So
June.
June.
Aiming for June.
I'm going. Where you? What are you doing in June? Toronto or the Nationals or which one?
Toronto. Pro qualifier. Potentially. We shall see. We shall see while the
I'm
next
doing.
couple of
Jamie's
months
going for that.
I'm doing that too.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to qualify
I
for
got a
this,
couple-
Jamie.
Well, Josh, you set me up
Do
when we went
athletics.
up with. When I went up to the Toronto Pro last year, I was getting some pictures, and I got a couple of Tiffany. I think when I was up there, I sent them to you, didn't I?
Oh.
And with
I think
Bethany,
Beth?
you and Bethany.
Bethany.
Is it Bethany?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I got a couple
We did
pictures
get
of you
those.
guys.
Yeah.
When I was up.
Yeah, you sent
Yeah.
them to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I got like 2 or 3 pictures, and then that was it. I was like, I can't put two pictures up there.
No, I'd give you more than that. There was more than that. It was Antoine and. Oh yeah, but it's yeah. Anyway,
Well, but it was good. No, you
So-
you did your thing. It was nice.
yeah,
We're gonna go do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Awesome.
To a text.
sounds good.
You got this.
Yep. Okay.
All right. You guys have a great night. Thanks for staying up late with us.
Great night.
Yes,
Yes.
you as well. Thank you again.
Okay.
Thanks, Tiffany. Thanks,
See
Josh.
ya. Bye.
See you later.